Welcome back to a new video. This is not going to be a mic'd up video, so there's going to be a lot of cuts and edits between lifts like normal, but I'm going to have the mic in and kind of talk through some of my lists as I go. But I'm going to focus a lot more on talking about the actual lifting and not just random topics that pop into my mind. So the workout today is pretty short, and I made some adjustments between today and yesterday. So this is the 5th day of the week. I wanted my Saturday workout to be more intense in nature because I'm going to be more well rested and it's just a better day to train in general. So originally today was supposed to be snatch doubles from the floor. I changed it, or I essentially swapped yesterday's snatches or tomorrow's snatches with today's. Tomorrow was supposed to be block power snatches. Today I made them the same amount of, it's actually the same weight, and I added 2 additional sets to mimic the 5 that were given to me yesterday. I may just do 5 sets of doubles tomorrow in the snatches from the floor. We'll see how I'm feeling. But besides that, I made an adjustment to the second movement, which was power position clean plus pause jerk, or power position clean or power clean. I don't know which. I hate power position lifts. I don't think they're useful to do. So I swapped that movement out. It was power position clean, pause jerk, jerk. So a 1 + 1 + 1. And since I have the blocks out, I adjusted to that. I have the crash pads up because it puts it at I think almost like the perfect height, and it will protect the wood blocks a little bit more. Out here, I kind of experiment at different things as far as the height, just to get it at the right spot. But the wood block plus the crash pad gets it to be not directly above my knee, but actually a little bit higher. It'll be almost at the perfect spot when I'm setting it with my shoes. I tried it with my tennis shoes on. So this will be my first warm-up set here. And they're all power snatches, so I'm not going to try to do full ones even to warm up, because that's one of the nice things with sessions with a lot of powers is you kind of just hammer it. But I think I forgot to mention the second movement is going to be block power clean plus pause jerk plus jerk, and I might have to increase the weight because when I swapped to that complex it lowered the weights, which makes sense because I'm bad at power cleans for the blocks, but I might push them up a little bit to like the same amount, which was like 108, so essentially like 110 at the most, which will be challenging. But we'll do a double here, go up to 60, 80, and then probably just do my doubles at 90 because I think it said 86. All right. One of the things that's a little difficult with block work is I usually just start with 40 kilos. I don't usually do bar work, but we'll do one continuous video for the snatches and then one for the clean jerk work. My accessory work is glute bridges. I don't know if I'm going to do those. I can out here. I have a band, but I kind of play that by ear, but that won't be in the video. I don't typically record accessories, but because it's a quicker session today, like I mentioned, the weights are not crazy heavy, and that's all powers. I should be able to kind of power through the session pretty quick. It's like 8 o'clock at night, but that's fine. I waited a while to start training, and my roommates wanted to come out here and train. And because it's a session like this, it's one I don't mind procrastinating. I do need to get some chalk on. So that was a little achy because that was my first actual snatching set. I don't even think I did anything with the bar, even without the block. But I'll just keep hammering them. They're just doubles, and the nice thing is they feel bad. It's only going to be 85, 90 kilos, so I'm not going to be dying too much. Also be nice, trying to do a continuous video means that I'll work out faster anyway, and without the extra stimulus of music, even more faster. So with the 60, do a double. Low back's a little sore, left shoulder's a little sore, but let's keep working. Let's hope it loosens up. It's nothing that's really anything out of the ordinary. With these, focusing on that catch position, trying to fixate aggressively, trying to feel my hands fixate overhead in an aggressive fashion. And I'm trying to reinforce what I did well with my snatch reps on the ground, just off the ground earlier this week, and not trying to be as aggressive with my contact and just trying to be more precise. Because I don't feel great. One of the strategies I actually like to use, so how it's set, 86 kilos was my starting weight for this movement. I'm going to make 80 kilos my first working set. Unless these feel, super easy. And then we'll add weight from there, but we'll like count this as like my first working set, since I'm most likely going to go above the programmed weight, but it's hard to say any weight's really programmed in the AI, because if you say it's easy long enough, it keeps adding weight. So unless it's a deload week, it will almost always increase or decrease the weight depending on how difficult or easy you said the set was. All right. So a double here. Also gives me the excuse to do another double on a warm-up set, and then kind of assess from there. Oh. It's actually pretty warm outside. I might actually turn off the heater. It's in like the mid-50s, which, plus with my roommates already having been out here for a while and using the heater, I'm sure it's warmer out here than it would be if I was just the first one out. Another reason I don't mind waiting for them to come train. They get to warm up my equipment first. All right, 80 for a double. Smooth extension. The knee wrap came off on that one, but definitely going to count that as my first working set, because as I'm training, I'm definitely not feeling, like I can really push too aggressively. I didn't sleep too much last night, or at least too well. I suppose the amount wasn't too great either, but I don't know. My sleep's been pretty good. My hydration's been pretty good. So my recovery should be pretty good, but it's kind of just like the week of training adds upon each other. So we're gonna go up to 85 still though, and see how that feels. Might just do all the sets at 85. Get a clip on. But I was definitely struggling a little bit on that one, getting into the right position. And 85 should move pretty easy. We're also going to turn off this heater, because I am starting to cook. Certainly helps to have this hat on. All right. Left shoulder's definitely a little achy today, but it's what it likes to do. All right, so we're going to go to the AI and put that 80 was my first set, 3 whites. Then we're going to make the next set 85. And we'll go from there. Best power from the high blocks is 115. It's actually the same as the floor, although both of them were more like POWs. But for me, if I'm not bottoming out really low in a snatch, then I kind of consider it a POW. And for those, they were like below parallel. They were true like POW reps, where it wasn't like questionable if you saw in the front if I actually did a full snatch or not. They were actually like right at or slightly below parallel, but not true powers. All right, so 85. Do it for a double. One negative of these crash pads is they do slide around a little bit, so that's one reason I tend to bias the wood, just using wood itself. That one felt really good. I keep feeling like I'm like getting close to my mic. I think it's just the weight differential. Sorry if you're hearing all that rustling, but I think I feel the weight on that side when my arm's going past it or something. That or somehow my arm's touching it, but I don't think it's that close to it. All right. So we're gonna put the red on to make it 90. Oh. The other thing that's annoying with the crash pads is, obviously change plates, it doesn't matter, but if you're putting on, say if I wanted to swap the green for the yellow, that would be annoying because it does sink down a little bit, but it's nothing that's, the net positives of it are certainly greater than, a slight negative like that. I'm putting it on the inside of the collar, not for any particular reason, but just because I did it on the one side. A little extra cardio in with just how quick I'm doing these sets. But pleasantly surprised. And on the last one, was really just trying to make sure that didn't necessarily brush against my leg the whole way through extension, but it was as close as I could, which usually means it's brushing too, but you can think about contact and kind of overdo it. The key is to have a balance between, it contacting you and not just ripping against your leg. You're supposed to keep the pool close on every part of it, but if you keep it super close on the bottom part, when you first start any lift, you're just going to have a bloody shin every day. And that is not fun. It's probably one of the most annoying things you can experience as a lifter is that shin bleeding. But let's set this 90. Make it look like the 85, or at least make it feel like the 85. Get this crash back over a little bit. All right. So that same focus, keeping it close throughout that pool. First one wasn't the best rep, but it was good enough. It's one of those reps that it's like a missy make. If I didn't do that second one as well as I did, then that first one I'd be more questionable about, but sometimes I don't want to walk weights forward and kill myself out here in the shed. Some would argue that would be less than ideal, but that was good enough to go up. 95 might feel pretty difficult. 95 will probably be the most I can do today. Because that was nice. Make sure I didn't do 95 in that last one. I would like to do 95, and I think I need to use some performance-enhancing music for it. Because just being out here with my thoughts, not trying to work hard, is sometimes ideal, but most of the time it's not. Most of the time, I gotta be bumping. Play some breakcore. Nice thing about a lot of the breakcore I listen to, or at least the one main artist whose name I don't want to say for it being an inappropriate word in it, doesn't really copyright my stuff. And I had one of my songs get picked up by the copyright system on YouTube, and whoever is the copyright owner of it, or if it's like their record label for the person, released the copyright for it pretty quick, which is pretty unique. So they obviously value fair use, aka have clicked on a video of me lifting and see, as just some guy in their shed lifting. Clearly is not a replacement for whatever song I'm listening to of theirs, which it's always funny when they upheld, whatever, their copyright claim. And no, we actually own this terrible lift. You would think a company wouldn't want to own any of my lifting. You would think they'd want to distance themselves from this kind of stuff, but can't tell them what to do. And I surely cannot. All right. So 95. It's always interesting how the second rep will go better. And if any of you say, why are you stepping over your bar? That's bad luck. I like to see you come out here lifting the shed, not step step over a dang bar. I'm not walking around tripping over myself. I'm out here lifting with no glasses on, no coordination, and a bunch of crap around me. If I want to step over a bar, gosh darn it, I'm going to step over it. I'm going to sit on it. I'm going to do backflips on it. I actually don't believe in that silly superstition with stepping over barbells. It's always ironic that, like, I think that's like a Russian thing. They're superstitious about stepping over a barbell, but we'll take all the drugs in the world. Be a little bit more concerned about the drug intake than, little superstitions, but I suppose anything to make you lift better. All right, so that's 95. We're, of course, not going to do 99 kilos because that would be psychopath behavior. We're going to try 100. Goal with this set is to get it, but is at least make the first one look really good, and then if the second one ends up being a full rep, so be it. But we'd like to power the first one, and I like to power both, but I would just like to do 2 good reps, even if I am going into full depth, which may not feel the most pleasant because I haven't done a full snatch yet, but ain't no time like the present to do one, I suppose. We're going to bump to that same song again. One of the reasons I don't like to play my music when I'm at the actual gym too often is I have to listen to the same song over and over a lot of times, or at least the same part, and I'm a little bit too nice to subject everyone to that. So that first one, if you think that was a make you miss, then you're probably right. But made the second one, powered both. Happy with that. First rep, like I talked about earlier, it's definitely one that, ideally, if I were to like hold it, stand all the way up, and pause, I probably would have had to step forward, which when you're doing reps, it's not ideal. But for me, for training, especially for, block power, it's not as critical to be, dialed in entirely. Obviously, you like to do it better, but it gives you a mark, or it gives you an area to look at for the next time to try to make it look better. But second one I was definitely happy with. Really both, because with these, like with my focus being the lockout above, I was happy with how I caught both of them. With the first one, I was just a little bit earlier than I would have liked. But we're gonna take a pause here, take a rest, then do some block power cleans. But real happy with those. Got a lot more weight on it than I thought I would. Figured, like 90 kilos would be where I would be, but got a little above that. So we'll just keep working. But yeah, clean jerks should be pretty easy. I think it's only 3 sets, and I didn't adjust it for the amount that I have. Or no, I didn't change anything with it. The only thing I changed was its block power cleans instead of power position cleans. But I'm going to try to get to the similar weight that it had, so stay tuned for that. Video might be too long, but we'll try to cut it up. We'll try to do a different style. I'll still put it in the series. So my 50-minute monstrosity video, I put as a mic'd up one. So I think if I get really rambly, then that's a good mic'd up. But the rest of them, if I'm talking about training and focus mostly on that, we'll keep it in the AI series. But we'll see how I'm feeling about it when I'm editing this one up. But let's get the clean jerk started. I've sat for way too long playing on my phone, essentially just scrolling through Instagram and stuff. But I'm also a little bit tired, so I do have that excuse as well. We're going to go 60 to 95, and then kind of play it by ear. There is, I believe, 3 working sets. And originally, let's see what it says right here. It says 94, so we're just going to do 95. But 95 will be the first set, and I'll kind of assess from there. In a perfect world, I would just go 10 kilos up each set and end with 115, but I think at this juncture, probably not. I'd probably be satisfied with just 110, but even less than that will be okay, just because the clean is going to be really difficult. But we're going to get them done. So this is 60. I haven't done anything since my last snatch. I've just been sitting. So this will probably not feel great. It didn't feel too bad. Definitely could have felt worse. But thankfully, because the working sets are just really quick, I'm not too worried about taking a lot of time. So we're going to 95. Whew. Starting to get a little bit colder out. Excuse me. Oh, I do not like putting plates on with this crash pad. So with this yellow one, that should cover me for all of my sets. So I should have to put on another big plate. Maybe I will. No, because this is 95. If I put a 10 on, that will be, or the whites. That won't make... Ah, darn it, I'm going to have to put the green on, aren't I? At least, I feel like, if I feel like I can do 115, I will have to, but... I've trolled myself. Should have just went to 100. But, honestly, 95 is a smart choice for this particular movement. For just cleans, nah. 100, maybe even 110, maybe even 120. But for block power cleans, ooh, I shudder at the thought of them. I don't know why they're so difficult. I think it might just be the way I'm built. Maybe I'm coping for bad technique, but I feel like the fact that I've cleaned 175 from the floor and that I can only power 120 from the block tells me that there's something going on with the blocks that makes it significantly more difficult from the way I'm built. So I feel like even if I was like bad technique with them, like it, when my overall clean wouldn't be good. Even my power clean from the ground, I've done 147 and I've done 140 a bunch of times. So it's significantly higher from the floor. And that could just be because my pull is generally better from the floor. I can get more velocity on it, but enough rambling about that. So the complex, I think I mentioned it before, is power plus a pause jerk plus a regular jerk, which pause jerks I like. Block power cleans, I am not a fan. Alright. Gotta make this one easy so we can add weight. It's weird, the pause jerk felt better than the regular jerk. I think I cut my leg drive off a little bit and went a little bit forward. I'm sure the clip of it won't look too bad because it didn't feel like it was like crazy bad. But I mean, for 95, I don't think it should have felt like that. Power clean didn't feel great, but you're never going to catch me saying, oh, that block power clean felt great. If I am, I probably cut a couple inches off my femurs. Maybe that's the surgery I need. People get surgery to make their legs longer. I want mine shorter. Imagine trying to tell a doctor that. I'm trying to get a little bit more weightlifting efficient. You take like 2 inches off my femurs. I don't need them. You can donate them to a short king. When I say that, I'm not even that short or that tall. I'm precisely average. 5'11", basically on the dot. I think I was slightly technically under, but it's a slight amount that's not worth delineating when anytime I've ever said I'm 5'11", it's never something that if you saw me in person or anyone that I've seen, I was particularly questioned, because I mean it's close enough to it. Plus, when you're already wide like I am, you look taller. I often get that people think I'm taller than 5'11". Students at school don't count though, because their perception of height is hilarious. I mean, they think 5'11" is super tall. But they also guessed my age between 21 and 49. They even guessed in the 50s before, which honestly is pretty toxic. But let's hit the set here. I added the weights, as you can see, so we're doing 105. This one will be difficult. I'm going to focus up for it. All right. Whew. I guess I lied. I mean, the clean felt better than the previous one, but they always feel block fire cleans still feel bad. So we're gonna try 115. Is it gonna work? Surely not. But means I'll just do a full clean. Please come on. There we go. But the jerks felt good. So even if I do a full clean, the jerk should be pretty easy. Oh. All right. Plate storage completed. Man, I got no space on this side because this crash pad hangs over. So I really got a small amount of space. Come on, baby. There we go. Oh. So I kind of wish I was a 60 kilo lifter. I'd only ever have to go up to one plate. I'm a pretty average lifter. I gotta put all these stupid plates on. These stupid plates to put on stupid muscle. Alright, it says to go to 110, but we already said we're going to 115. We're obviously going to need some performance enhancing music. That much is a certainty, but we're going to get a different song. We got to get a little hyped up for this. Because clean's going to take my soul. I don't know what RP that is. RP, my soul. Is that above 10? How hard was that set? The hardest thing I've ever felt in my life, every set. All right. So the clean, as you can see, did a very full one, but I was kind of anticipating that. And honestly, a lot of times I miss powers. In the cleans, I do full ones. They feel really hard, and often I'm in a compromised position because my feet are a little bit wider than normal. But that one didn't feel too bad. I didn't quite bottom out, but obviously it was quite low. And it wasn't like I had a really dynamic stretch reflex to jump up with, but the jerks felt good, which is nice. And I certainly have a bigger problem with that than with the clean. So it's nice to be able to get up to that weight to do that. And it's a little tricky in the app because, how would you rate that set? I would say it's a 2-to-1 red because I didn't do the full clean, but it's obviously not a miss So I did both the jerks. And if you tell the AI, it was 3 whites or whatever, which wouldn't be accurate, but if I said that, then it would think that I made that as a power clean. So it's one flaw in the system is there's not a delineation between the clean and the jerks. And that what I just did is a perfect example. He goes, how would you rate that? Jerks, 3 whites. Clean is, a missed power. But, the overall set, I was pretty happy with. Now, if I was really rating that set, I would say 2 whites and a red. But I also want to be able to look back, or at least have the AI be able to look back and say, he thought that was pretty difficult, because it was. And, I think on a different day, then I could power it. I mean, I powered this weight and more, or 115, I should say. I powered this 110 as well. But, that's one of the flaws in the system. And it's one that you can kind of work around for the most part if you kind of know, how to train. But I could see like a new person at lifting. I know if I was new at lifting, it would certainly befuddle me to no end to not know, how to enter that in when it's a complex like that. When it's just a snatch or just a clean or just a jerk, obviously it's very easy because you're assessing one movement. But when you're assessing essentially 3 different movements with one rating scale, then certainly is flawed in that sense. And I think the information that the AI is getting from that set that I just gave is not the full story, and it's not able to understand, how the set really went. Maybe that's just a difference of working within a system, a computer system versus an in-person coach. They would be able to know that difference and make those adjustments, but I don't think it's one that the sorry, I thought I heard something. I don't think it's one that the AI wouldn't be able to figure out or be able to be like programmed in. You just have to be able to delineate between. Oh, I thought I heard something. But be able to delineate between, cleans and jerks. In this kind of complex, it's probably really difficult, but in a normal clean jerk lift, then I think it would be not too difficult. But that's the session for today. I'm going to do some glute work, or at least some like hip extension, something with the bands, the booty bands, and do some of that because I think that will help my low back a little bit, and will probably feel pretty good just in general to do. But get these off the crash pads. If you do ever buy crash pads, never leave weights on like this unless you want to destroy them very quickly. During a session, it's not a big deal, but mostly like long term, you don't want to just always have plates on them because it will kind of break down the padding with it. So not ideal with those, but pretty productive session. You saw like yesterday and today, like it's not, a crazy long session or a crazy difficult one. You make it harder, by pushing the weights up a little bit, but there's not, a bunch of different exercises to do. I'm trying to stick to what the plan has because I think the last time I did it, I added a lot more frequency manually in to the sessions and made them a lot more difficult than they otherwise would have been. But I think kind of sticking to what the plan has and kind of trying to do more of the accessory work that's on there, or at least like changing the accessory work to things that I want to do. I think that would be beneficial. I also think in tomorrow's session, I actually added in some bench press that's on there. So I'm going to try to do that on Saturdays, I think, at a minimum. And then we'll see how the Sunday workout. If I want to change my split to be on having Sunday included by default, or if I just want that to be like an accessory intensive day where I do a lot of cardio, I do a lot of like bodybuilding specific work, and a lot of like corrective exercise. As I think any day of the week would be good to have a session like that in, where it's not focused on any of the lifts or the auxiliary lifts to them, but it's focused on cardio, recovery, mobility, just all of the light, easy stuff, and just trying to feel good. That could be a good day for Sundays. We'll see. But I suppose that will be its own video if it is enough stuff I do on that day. That's the other question, if it is enough stuff. But I've rambled on long enough. I'm going to try to cut out a lot of like the wait time in between and see how that feels for a video. Let me know what you think of this style. This will be in the AI series, so it won't be a mic'd up video since it was focused mostly on the lifting. And if you guys like this kind of style of video, I can try to do more of them, especially on sessions like this that aren't super crazy long or difficult. If it is like one where I have to do like 4 different exercises and a bunch of sets, then surely will be like a 3-hour video with all talking in between. But session like this, hopefully it's short. I don't know how short it will be, but shorter than a mic'd up video. I guess we'll see. Maybe it'll be the same length, and we'll just be a regular video like that. But trying different things. Sue me. At least try to make things a little bit better from the editing standpoint and from the video making and just the quality of the content. So try my best. So any feedback's always appreciated. But that being said, talk to you all in the next video. Peace.